Hello, today we are going to learn how to get a student subscription for Microsoft Azure. So first we have to go to the Azure portal. It's portal.azure.com. Maybe you are going to need to log in with your account, with your USF account. In my case, I have already signed in with my account. But if you go for the first time, you might have to choose an account or log into an account. Please choose your USF account. This is my case. Great. So in my case, for my USF account, I don't have any subscription. I will access the third option, the access student benefits. Okay. Let's explore this part. Great. So I will get $100 credit for my Azure student account. So I will claim my Azure credit now. Okay, I'm going to activate my credit, my student subscription. It will ask me for verification of my account. Okay, I will use my phone. And it will send me an SMS, text message for verification purposes. So once I receive this message, this text message, I will input that code and I will go to another page in which I will activate the account. Okay. Once I activate my account, I can create credits. I can use my credit to create for example, in this case, a database, a SQL Azure database. I'm going to stop the recording and continue in a moment. Okay, once I receive my code, I go to check my code. Yes, so it's in Spanish, but this is the contract. So yes, I want the contract, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm being redirected. Yes, so I have activated my Azure Education subscription. So, for example, if I go here to Microsoft Azure and check subscriptions, I will uncheck this. I will check that I have my subscription here. Oh, it's not showing, but it's okay. But I have a subscription. Yes. Okay. Great. So once I have a subscription, I will create a resource. This resource is a SQL Azure database. So create a resource, SQL Azure database. Azure SQL. Yes, Azure SQL. Okay, I will create an Azure SQL. this database in the cloud. Oh, maybe I don't have. Where is that? Where is that? I have, yes. Okay, University of South Florida. Yes, okay. I will use my University of South Florida account. Okay, I don't know why I was logged off. Yes, so here I have my USF account. I have the Azure for Students account. Great. So it's in Spanish, but so I'm going to switch to English. I'm going to switch to English. Okay, so I will create a Azure SQL database. I'm going to add the Azure SQL database. Okay, so I will create a SQL database, resource type single database in the left. On the left, yes. Great. My subscription is Azure for Students in Spanish, Azure for Students. Okay, a resource group. What is a resource group? A resource group is a container, it's a logical container. It doesn't take space. It's a logical organization. So we'll create a resource group. Okay. I will say RG1, resource group 1. Okay. So I will call the database, we'll call aviation. Okay. And a server. Oh, okay. A server is a public resource. So it has to have a unique name in the internet. Okay, so I will create a new server. The server is the container for a database, for one or more databases. So I will create a name. It has to be a unique name. USF dash Fernandez. I will use my pin, yes. Now we'll create a password, P4$WRD. But I mean, it can be any password you want. Okay. Okay. Great. So what about the location? The location is automatic. I mean, it will recommend the closest location and the most effective location in terms of communication. So I will choose the one that is recommended to me, the US East, and press OK. Okay, great. So right now I will, okay, don't use Elastic Pool. Elastic Pool is a feature that allows you to save resources, but it costs more. I will choose the basic, the most basic resource for my database. So in configure database, I will choose like the most basic database. Basic, okay. So the most basic database with 2 GB storage is like $4.99 a month, which is enough for the course. Apply. Okay, so yes, so it should be, don't forget, it should be like $4.99 a month. Okay, where is that? Basic, 2 GB. Yeah, it is, let's see, $4.99 a month. Okay. What is a DTU? A DTU, it's well, it's in Spanish. Okay, it's processing unit. Okay, it doesn't matter if you decrease the storage, you will have you will be billed based on your DTU. Okay, so let's apply. $5.99, $4.99 a month. Great. And that will be all. Review and create. $4.99. I will create that resource. It will take like, I don't know, 1 minute to create. Once I have this resource, I will have like actually two resources. First, the SQL, the Azure SQL database, and after that, I will have the server, the Azure server for SQL, for my SQL database. Okay, great. So right now, I will wait until my database is created, and once I have my database created, I will configure the access for the server. Okay, let's wait until it is completely created. And once it is completely created, I will go to Microsoft Azure. I will have my resources there. Sorry, this is not it. This is it. Okay. We'll create it like in, yes, it was going to be created. Okay. So I have my server and I have my database. Okay. I will configure my server. So once I have my server, I will create a firewall rule to allow access to this resource. Yes, this is my SQL Server. Okay. Azure SQL. Let's go again. For example, I go to Azure SQL. I have here the resource I have created. Click here. Yes, it is the server, not the database. This is the server. Okay, it's complete the deployment. Great. So the first thing, okay, if I want to reset a password, I go here, reset a password. If I want to, for example, configure that firewall, which is what I want, I go here, firewalls and virtual networks. Great, okay. I'm going to allow Azure services to access my server. I'm going to create a rule. For example, I'm going to create a rule called firewall 1. It can be any name. And I'm going to access any IP. Okay, I'm going to access any IP, the whole range of IP addresses to access my server. Allow Azure services to access my server and create a rule. Then I save this. Okay, great. So I have my server configured for access now. Great. I have my server configured for access. If you want to reset your password, you go to here, reset your password, but I won't reset my password now. I have here my database, SQL databases, aviation here. This is my SQL database, okay? How can I access my database? I can use the query editor. The query editor is web-based query tool. Okay, I'm going to access ask me for authentication. To access. Great. So here you have my database. I don't have any table. I can create a table. Create a table test one. Run. Okay, we'll create a basic sentence. And I will query my sentence now. Test one. Okay, here's my server. Okay, so this is like a basic auction to basic way I can drop my table. This one. I can run everything. I'm dropping, creating, and so I can create any object here, but the problem here is that in this database, for example, in this query editor, I'm not able to do much. Okay, just code, but I cannot see a diagram. I'm running Windows. So if I'm running Windows, I can download the SQL Server Management Studio. I have already installed Management Studio. I'm going to install the last. I'm going to install the last version. Okay, download Management Studio in English. Okay, so I'm downloading SQL Server Management Studio, the last version of SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, and I also can use another tool called Azure Data Studio. I can use Azure Data Studio, Windows installer, for example, here. Okay, what is the difference? Azure Data Studio, it's created for Windows, Mac, and Linux. Okay, if you are running Mac, use Azure Data Studio. But SQL Server Management Studio, it's only created for Windows. The difference is that SQL Server Management Studio is more advanced. For example, if you want to see the diagram, you can run the same code, but if you want to see the diagram, the database diagram, you can only see it in SQL Server Management Studio. You cannot see it in Azure Data Studio. So I'm going to install both, for example. In my case, SQL Server Management Studio, it's already installed, but it's not in the latest version. It's in a past version. So I will try to install this version. Let me see if it allows me to do. I can try to install Azure Data Studio as well. Not sure if it will let me do it. Azure Data Studio. Let me see. In the meantime, I can do anything I want. Okay. Okay, no, I need to wait. Need to wait until this finishes. Okay. In the meantime, for example, I can create, and I'm going to create here, for example, one table, and I'm going to here. I'm going to select a certificate. Okay. I'm going to create, for example, here a table, and I can do anything I want here. Okay, it's installing. Okay, I will pause the recording until it is completely installed, this SQL Server Management Studio. So that setup it's complete. Close. Okay, and I will install Azure Data Studio as well. Let's see, we'll install Azure Data Studio. It's already installed. Okay, so I mean it's already installed, but I will create. How do I access Azure Data Studio and SQL Server Management Studio? SQL Server Management Studio, I type SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. I open SQL Server Management Studio. And I will have in Windows, only in Windows, that's a problem, this tool, which allows me to connect to my server. Okay, this is important. If you want to connect to your server, you have to know the address of your server. So, for example, this is my server. I go to Azure SQL, my server. You need to know the address of your server. So my address, or the address of my server, is here, Joseph Ferrandis database.windows.net. So I copy my address of my server. Okay, I paste. This is my authentication. Okay, so here I have remember I have previously created a database, a table in the aviation database. So here, for example, I'm going to change my database to aviation first. And then I'm going to, that's one, I guess. Yes, if I, for example, insert a record here, if I insert a record here, I will see the record here as well. Two records. You see? So let's go to Azure Data Studio. Add connection. My SQL Server is, well, SQL Server. The server address, remember where to find it? Here. You go to the SQL Server, server name, copy to clipboard, copy here. Don't choose Windows Authentication, choose SQL Login. And in SQL Management Studio, it's the same. When you connect, choose SQL Server Authentication. Don't choose Windows Authentication, choose SQL Server Authentication. Username, this is, no, later. Username and password. Okay, if the password is correct, I can access here the databases. Here, aviation, great. And connect. Remember that Azure Data Studio, it's multi-platform. So I choose new query. Remember I have this one. Okay. I have two records here. So I'm going to insert a third record. Okay, this is the third record. I will, okay. And I can see the record here, for example, the third record, the third row. and I can see it here. So, I mean, because the database is in the cloud. And for example, if remember, you cannot see the diagram, the database diagram in Azure Data Studio. Okay, you cannot see the database diagram in the query editor of Azure. Okay, for example, I'm going to create a diagram here in the SQL Server Management Studio. I'm going to create a second row. I'm going to create a second row with new names. And I'm going to create a diagram. So I create the table. I will create will add the not null to that database, and I will add a primary key to that database so that I can create a diagram. So if you want to create a foreign key and a diagram, you need to have a primary key, which is not null in one of the tables. So I will create foreign key. This is a foreign key to have the relationship. This one. This one, this one. Okay. So now I have the relationship. Oh, yes, I need to have a record here. I need to have a record, at least one record in the another in this table. So I will insert in test2. Okay. Two. This one. I will need all the records that are in one table. So here I will prepare my table. 2, 3, 2, 3. Okay, I have all the records here. And now I can create my foreign key. Great. So I have a foreign key from test2, from test table to test2 table. Okay, so I have the two tables, and you can see that here in the test2, I have primary key, and here I have a foreign key. So I will create a database diagram. New database diagram. I click OK, just to install the support for database diagram. I have here the two tables. Yes, I have here a database diagram. So it's important that when I create a database diagram, I can visualize the database diagram. Okay, it's important. So this is only visible on SQL Server Management Studio. You cannot see this diagram on Azure Data Studio, or you cannot see it in the query editor in the Azure browser, in the browser. Okay, so if one of you it's running Windows, please create the diagram there, and then you can distribute the diagram so that everyone can see how the database schema looks like. That will be all. Okay, don't forget in the case of the server that you have to have this server name. Okay, you have to have this server admin, and you have to have your server password with you. Okay, that will be all. Thank you.